What's up everybody on YouTube? AJ Russ back here with another video, and today I'll be reviewing Venom, Let There Be Carnage. Let's get it. So guys, before you continue watching, there are spoilers ahead for Venom Let There Be Carnage. So if you haven't watched the film yet, stop this video, go watch Venom Let There Be Carnage. And then when you're done watching the film and the post-credit scene, come back here and watch my review. This movie, in my opinion, definitely was an improvement from the first film from Venom that came out in 2018. It knows what it is, and it continues to roll into that way. A lot of people complain about the running time being an hour and a half, basically. But I mean, nothing is dragged. You're getting straight into the action with Carnage and Venom, so overall, I enjoyed it. Finally, seeing Cletus Cassidy as Carnage in live action was amazing for myself and of course for my fellow Spider-Man fans and Venom fans and everyone that's been a fan of symbiotes pretty much. In the comics, Carnage is definitely a rated R type of character because the type of violence that he portrays is just next level. But they worked it in this film to be PG-13. You see brutal scenes of action pretty much, and they obviously don't show the blood and everything because if they did, it would have been rated R. But I mean, it worked in my opinion in terms of bringing Carnage to the big screen. Anyways though, now I want to get into the story aspect of the movie. So basically we pick up after the film of Venom, the first Venom pretty much, and we see Eddie and Venom, they're still together, still intertwined with the symbiote, and we can tell that they're fed up with each other. Eddie is pretty much finally getting back to his normal life as a reporter after in the first film that being stopped because of Carlton Drake, who was Riot. We all know what happened there, but he's basically getting back to his normal life, and we see a couple instances of him meeting with Cletus Cassidy in prison. I like how in the movie they tried to portray Eddie basically as a reflection of Cletus Cassidy, seeing two sides of what could have went wrong with Eddie in terms of his mental state, because Cletus Cassidy, he's one crazy son of a gun, and Eddie, I mean, obviously in the comics it's different because he's basically a foe of Peter Parker, but I mean, things have to be changed because, you know, it's Sony and Marvel Studios and all that, but talking about the post-credit scene, we know that things are changing, so yeah. We saw some of Cletus's backstory on little art drawings in the film. When you watch it, or of course you're watching this, so when you saw the movie, you know what I'm talking about, but seeing him basically kill his whole family, which was brutal, and then, yeah, just all that. I mean, that's the nature of Cletus Cassidy, just one sadistic and crazy person. We also were introduced to Shriek in the film, who was played by Naomi Harris. She was basically Cletus Cassidy's love when they saw each other in that little prison when they were younger. They both have special abilities, but really Shriek, she had special abilities when she was younger, and then of course Cletus ends up getting the symbiote of Carnage when he's older, but they basically fell in love with each other, so it was interesting to see that fall into play in the future because that's what Cletus Cassidy was motivated by, but ultimately that leads to his demise as we saw later in the film. Speaking of his demise, I really don't like that Sony killed off Carnage pretty much. I mean, well, Cletus Cassidy, but you know, Carnage. I mean, I don't know if things are going to change because of that post-credit scene, which I'm about to talk about in a second because I mean, we watched the film, so I mean, I'm not going to just wait to talk about it later, but you know, I wonder if they're going to have basically like an MCU version of Carnage. I don't know what they're going to do, but I mean, we need to see more of Carnage on the big screen eventually because I mean, I want to ultimately see Spider-Man against Carnage in some type of capacity. I know I'm not the only one because I mean, all Spider-Man fans would definitely love that. We'll see though, whatever happens with that. I just know I want more Carnage for sure. But in terms of the film though, the action and the combat sequences were dope. The final battle between Venom and Carnage, I mean, it was awesome seeing Carnage, you know, form his tentacles like in the comics and just being brutal against Venom and ultimately not knowing what was going to happen. I mean, we all knew that Venom was going to end up winning, but I just didn't think that they were going to kill off Carnage that way. But I mean, ultimately it was a great final battle, and it's going to set up a lot of things in terms of the future of Venom. And speaking of Venom's future, that post-credit scene was definitely live. So in the post-credit scene, we see Eddie and Venom, they're taking a vacation, trying to take a load off, trying to lay low really because they were publicly spotted by the police. You know, they were supposed to be low, keeping low basically, and now with that fight against Carnage, everyone knows that Venom is back pretty much. So Venom and Eddie, they're basically just on that vacation, taking a load off, laying low, and they're basically talking about Venom's past and Eddie's past pretty much, saying that they don't need to keep secrets from each other. So Venom was about to show Eddie some of his secrets, which he didn't think that Eddie could pretty much fathom because I mean, he's a human, so I mean, there's only so much we can take. But then it seems like boom, something happened and some type of multiverse spiraling things happens, and you know what that means. So before that little multiverse type of spiraling thing happened, they were watching something on the TV like a soap opera type of thing, but after it happened, we end up seeing J. Jonah Jameson, basically from the post-credit scene of Spider-Man Far From Home, and then we see Peter Parker, Tom Holland himself, and we see Venom basically licking the screen saying that he looks tasty. So I don't know what that's gonna mean for Spider-Man No Way Home. I'm not sure if Venom's gonna be in the movie. Honestly, it doesn't make too much sense. We know that the sixth member of the Sinister Six, the multiversal Sinister Six in No Way Home, is still a question. So it could be Venom, but in my personal opinion, I hope it's somehow Mysterio being reincarnated. I don't think he's dead actually, but I mean, I don't know. But that post-credit scene definitely got a lot of people hyped, and for some people, that's the most hyped part of the movie for them. I can speak from my experience. Everyone in the theater was pretty much hyped when that happened. Everyone was screaming. They're like, ooh, they were just hyped to see that because they knowing that now Venom is basically canon to the MCU, which is dope. It's definitely going to be different from the comics, how everything's going to be adapted. I mean, in the future sometime, we're sure that Tom Holland is going to adapt the symbiote, but I don't know how that's going to exactly happen. We're just going to have to wait a few months to see Spider-Man No Way Home, which comes out in 2 months already. Time is going by so fast, so we'll see if Venom is incorporated to the movie, but personally, I'm just going to expect the unexpected and be able to be ready for the film, honestly. Backtracking to Venom Let There Be Carnage, though, I really enjoyed the film. If you saw my spoiler-free review, you know that I basically rated it an 8 out of 10. It's a really good movie in terms of just knowing what it is. Like I said, it's a self-contained film, and which we see obviously ends up connecting to the MCU in a small capacity, so we'll see what happens. But in my opinion, it's an 8 out of 10. You should definitely go watch it, and I recommend it. It's obviously not the best film ever, not the best Marvel film ever, not even the best Marvel film this year. In my opinion, Shang-Chi was amazing. And then I think the film of the year for Marvel is going to end up being No Way Home, of course, because the potential things that's in the film. But Venom, I mean, it's definitely a good movie and a great addition to all the slate that came out this year in 2021. Y'all let me know in the comments down below what you thought of the film. If you liked it, you loved it, what you thought of the post-credit scene. I definitely enjoyed that. That was probably mostly everyone's favorite part of the movie. But I mean, I just enjoyed the movie overall. Going to see it on a Thursday with a huge audience, basically sold out. So movies are back. Marvel is back. No more delays, and I'm just happy about that. So I genuinely enjoyed the film. So yeah, that's pretty much it for my spoiler review. Like I said, as a fan, I genuinely loved and enjoyed the film because I mean, I just like the Venom films. And, you know, it's not the greatest film ever. It's not the greatest part of cinema, but I mean, they're just fun to watch. They're funny, and I enjoyed it. As a critic, I'd probably say it needed to improve in a lot of different areas, but I mean, overall, it's a good, solid film, and I enjoyed it, and I love that it's basically MCU canon now. I really appreciate y'all watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at SwaggyRuss, and stay tuned for more movie reviews, Marvel content, all types of videos, basketball videos, of course. Just stay tuned for everything, and I appreciate y'all watching. Take it easy, be safe, and be blessed. Thank y'all.